Hi, I've got my July spreads for you. It is freezing here. Cold for an Australian anyway. I live in the mountains outside Sydney, and it is between 0 and like 8 degrees most days, Celsius. And that might not seem that cold, but we don't use a lot of heating in Australia. Like, we've been putting on the heating a little bit, and sometimes we light the fire, but like, to be honest, we probably need to put on the heating more than we do. In July, I have used watercolour in my spreads. I've gone very abstract, which is not like me. I tend not to do that. I'm a bit scared by what could happen, but I went with it and I actually really like how it turned out. So I hope you enjoy these spreads. I'll see you later. In July, I had the idea that I really wanted to use my gold metallic watercolor paints. I've been wanting to use them for ages and kind of wanted to do the whole thing where you paint the background in black gouache and then do gold painted flowers in front of that. So I went into my planning journal, which is where I plan all my stuff for my journaling, and tested out all these ideas for doing gold pictures on a black background. And it didn't gel. I wasn't happy with it. It was a lot of work. I didn't really like how they turned out. I wanted to incorporate some white as well and maybe washi tape if I could, but I wasn't liking it. And I just suddenly had the idea of just throwing some paint on the page and seeing what happened. So this is my Winsor & Newton paints. The blue is Winsor & Newton, and it's a blue, I'm trying to think what the name of it is, but it's the green version of the blue. So it's got that kind of sea colour. So I only used that blue. Then I used my black gouache to add accents, and a little thing that happened was I could not get the lid off this. It's been closed for too long, and I tried it in hot water, I tried soaking it, I tried putting a rubber band around it and using that to screw the lid off. I tried all sorts of things, couldn't get it open. So what I ended up doing was cutting the bottom end of the tube and squeezing it out from there and rolling it up, and hopefully I will be able to access my paint and it won't dry up. If you have any ideas on how to get the lid off, I'd be keen to know. So black gouache paint, and that I've used to do the accents here on the blue background, and then finally gold accents, and I ended up using this one with a big hole in it, and that is the Arabic gold from Calero Pearl Colours. These are beautiful metallic paints. I absolutely recommend them. Every time I've used them, they've worked really well, so love those. They come in lots of different colours. So they're the 3 paints I used, and then I thought, well, that's great, but I might need some additional accents on the page, and so I chose 2 washi tapes to go with that. One of them is my new tape that I only got recently, and that one is called, I got that one from Jet Pens, and then I used a plain gold sheen tape from MT. And they're a really good brand. I use them a lot. It's a very reliable tape. So I use them as my accents. The good news about that theme was the actual painting bit was quite quick to put together. So here's my title page, very similar to my test page in that journal. I've used a lettering that you can find on my Pinterest lettering board. I'll put a link in the description for that one. And yeah, as I said, I've painted the blue paint, and then I've just added accents of the black gouache and the gold metallic, added a few spots, and then finally used my paintbrush to spritz the page a bit. And that's it. Very simple. I tried a few different layouts for my weeklies, and this is where the washi tape came in. So for the washi tape, I used it as headers for my daily entries in my weekly spreads. The ink I'm using this month is an Iroshizuku ink Pilot, and this colour is Konpeki, which is a cerulean blue. These are definitely my favourite inks, Iroshizuku inks. I'm using it in a Lamy Safari pen. It's a fine nib. I quite often use my Lamy medium nib and really wanted to try the fine nib, and I'm liking it so far. So that's the pen and ink I'm using this month, which I think goes quite nicely with that Windsor blue-green. Then I've just done a random, very abstract painting on each page with the same lettering. So quite a simple design. Each week I've got my weekly log, I've got a task dump. Until I decide what day I want to do them, they'll just sit there, and they might even get moved to the following week. And you can see I've tried different layouts each day. And the other thing is that I get a bit bored just putting a strip of washi as the header, and so I decided to cut an interesting edge into it just to make it a bit more interesting to look at. More random painting. The final week of July, there are 3 days, so I've added it all into 1 week and had 10 days in the final weekly log spread, because that is still plenty of room for me to write my events and tasks that I need to do each day. Then I have my sleep tracker and my steps tracker, same as last month. The dotted lines are the goals I'm trying to get to in terms of when I go to bed, when I wake up, and how many steps as a minimum. That's a good amount of steps, and then ideally I should be doing that many, but never do. When you move the page, the gold looks lovely, shining there. That's what I mean about these paints, they're very beautiful. My liquids tracker, my mood tracker. Then I have my gratitude entry, daily entry. I have a blank page here. I haven't decided what I want to put on that yet. Then I've just got my daily entries, and these are just a diary entry, a little bit of colour on each page. They're not used like a bullet journal daily log. They are just diary entries. I kind of restrict my logging to my weekly. Just some more random splashes of colour. And then the final, so because I do 6 days per page, it works perfectly for a 30-day month, but obviously July has 31 days. So I have just added this extra bit of paper with the same washi tape, and it just neatly flips in there. It actually didn't need me to put washi over the outside. It's quite well secured. This is quite a strong washi tape, and that means that the next page I don't have a strip of washi sitting at the bottom, so it works quite well. This month I've kept it quite simple, considering it wasn't what I set out to do in the first place. I am very happy with it now. And in keeping with the rest of this journal, I have painted the edges with my Versamagic Dewdrop chalk ink, and this one is Ocean Depth, and I've just used the sponge to do the edges, because unlike say this month where I've shaded into each page, on this one I haven't done that. I have just literally gone along the edges, and so I'm keeping up my pattern in this journal of having a colour code for each month. So 5 months so far. I will get 1 more month in my Archer and Olive journal, and then I'll have to start a new one. I hope you found that interesting. I think it's always good to experiment. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and Bailey and I will see you again soon. Bye.